Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be a health update, and that's because a lot has changed since the last time I posted, along with stuff that I just never shared, and it's been a while. So I thought I'd just make an entire video covering kind of the basics of what has changed, and maybe at some other point I'll go more in depth of everything. But I don't want to make this video real long, so I'm just going to get into it and try to condense everything. So for those of you who know my P.O.T.S story to diagnosis, which is also on my channel, you know, May 3rd, 2020, my P.O.T.S got worse to the point where we knew something was up, which is what made us seek out a diagnosis. I had been presenting with symptoms my entire life that we just never picked up on. So since then, since I got diagnosed with P.O.T.S, it's been progressively getting worse. And when my P.O.T.S started getting worse, then I started experiencing other symptoms that were off of my P.O.T.S but would be a separate diagnosis. So the first one to appear was my GI issues. If you don't know what GI stands for, that is your digestive tract. So yeah, I started experiencing pain, bloating, constipation, nausea, loss of appetite, and then I would also get worsening P.O.T.S symptoms after I ate, and then I also had acid reflux. And at first I could deal with it. It was painful, but I could still manage it without doing anything, just push through. And then my GI symptoms started getting worse. At that point, it was no longer worth it to eat what I was eating, and we told my cardiologist. My cardiologist then told me to go onto this specific diet, which I'll tell you in a second, because with P.O.T.S it's very common to have GI issues, so she kind of knew what people's diets ended up looking like. So I listened, so I cut out gluten, and then when that didn't work, I cut out dairy, and then when that didn't work, I went low red meat and only cooked vegetables, or at least preferred the cooked vegetables. Some raw vegetables were better than others, it depended on the vegetable. Then I also was on my P.O.T.S diet, which was sugar-free and caffeine-free. So that was what my diet looked like, and still does look like. And when that didn't help enough, it helped for a little bit, only a very small amount, but then it got worse. And we talked to my cardiologist, and we talked to my primary care doctor, and I don't remember which one, but one of them ended up referring me to a GI doctor, because I was also having allergic reactions. These allergic reactions I knew weren't tied to my GI issues directly. I knew what I was eating wasn't causing it, due to the fact that I was having allergic reactions all the time for no reason, completely random. I could eat the same exact diet and I would still have allergic reactions one day and not the other. So I knew it wasn't based on what I was eating. So then I went to my GI doctor, and we talked about my GI symptoms and my allergic reaction symptoms, and my allergic reaction symptoms were rashes and hives that at first started off on my arms and then would spread and then started showing up other places, not just my arms, and the only way I could stop it was by taking Benadryl to stop the allergic reaction before it spread like really big. And when we went to see her, my GI doctor decided to refer me to an allergist, along with starting a few medications. So her treatment at first was, before running any tests, before doing anything, she wanted to try to see if these would fix it. So she did a clean out first, which didn't really do anything. It didn't clean me out. It didn't work the way it works on normal people. And then immediately after I took the stuff that was meant to clean me out but didn't, I was supposed to start laxatives every single day, and then start a acid reflux medication. The acid reflux medication also didn't really work. I'm still on both the laxatives and the acid reflux medication, even though the acid reflux medication doesn't really work. And we tried that for a while, and 3 months later, which was when my allergist was available, and so was my GI doctor, which they're all 2 hours away. So luckily we were able to book them on the same day. So we drive over 2 hours away to go see those two doctors. My GI doctor decides to take x-rays to make sure the laxatives are working and draw labs. So she took the x-rays, we did the labs. The labs were over 8 vials of blood. And that ended up showing that the laxatives aren't working the way they should be because I'm still severely backed up. And then I also am very, very low on iron, vitamins, blood, and a bunch of other stuff. And then the things that weren't super low were really high. So my labs look crazy. And she then put me on an iron supplement at the lowest dose possible, because with my GI issues, iron upsets your stomach. So we knew we couldn't do a very high dose of that, and then she put me on vitamin supplements to try to bring up my vitamins, which I'm still taking now. She also told me she currently thinks that it's all anxiety, and that it's not really something wrong with my GI tract, it's my anxiety, and to be fair, I have anxiety over certain things, but I'm not anxious all the time, so I have to then go to a psychologist and prove that it's not my anxiety causing my GI issues and my crazy labs and everything like that. I've also had GI issues, a few of them. I've had nausea off and on my entire life, and same with constipation. So we know that's not really true, but we have to go see a psychologist before we can prove that it's not my anxiety causing my GI issues. Then my allergist decided that same day to also draw labs, but not for the same things. So she sees a lot of P.O.T.S patients for allergic reactions, and that's because it's common for people with P.O.T.S to have a disorder called mast cell activation syndrome. And what that is everybody has mast cells in their body, but normally they don't react. Normally they only react to certain things, like things that you have allergies about. So for example, stuffy nose and sneezing around pollen, like stuff like that. But with mast cell activation syndrome, they react to random things for no reason at all, at any given time, over nothing. So she took labs on to check those two chemicals that mast cells release. One was fine, the other one was pretty high, and due to the one being high, she said yes, due to that one being high, she does qualify for a mast cell activation syndrome diagnosis. But in order to confirm it, we had to run 2 other tests. So the first test they run, which is the first blood test I ran, you have to do on a day you don't have any allergic reactions to get your baseline. Then you have to take a second one, which is another blood test, and that one is after you have allergic reaction within 4 hours of it. So when that second blood test came back, she tested the level that was in the normal range before, not the one that was already high, because we knew that one was high already. We knew that one was going to go up. We were testing the one that was normal. And since that one did not really change, she said it could still be it, but there's one other test we have to run to confirm it, and that is a 24-hour urine sample study, which I still have not had ran, but she did put me on allergy medication to stop the allergy reactions, which works kinda, it depends on the day. I still have allergic reactions, normally not as severe, and normally don't happen every day now. There's one other medication I can try, but we're waiting to see what she says, because she gave me 2 different ones to try. One I was supposed to start because it was like a milder version. The second one was if I continued to have allergic reactions, so we're waiting to see what I have to do to be able to transfer to that medication, and when we're running a 24-hour urine study. So that's where we're at right now with those 2 things I have never mentioned on this channel. And then my P.O.T.S is still getting worse, and probably will continue to, but we are thinking about buying a wheelchair, that way I can go to stores and stuff like that, because right now I haven't gone to a store, in like a normal store that wasn't small, in a long time, and be able to do anything in the store. Like, I can't really shop in the store, even if I can walk in that day, I can't enjoy it. So we're looking into that, and my P.O.T.S treatment's still the same, all that's still the same from before, so that's where we're at as of right now, and I'll keep y'all updated on where that ends up going. But I want to come on here and update y'all, not just so y'all know what's going on, but so that there's a record of it that I can go back and look at later on, in the future. So thank you for watching, hope y'all enjoyed, and hope you'll come back next time. Bye.